Hi friends, happy Friday. This week in Bible we learned about Jonah, and today I'm going to read to you a make-believe story, okay? So Jonah, the story of Jonah in the Bible is true, and this is a make-believe story, all right? But it still teaches a good lesson, and I'll ask you some questions at the end, so pay attention. Mrs. Murray's students buzzed with excitement as they got ready for their field trip. All week long, they collected warm socks and baked cookies and practiced Bible verses and songs. Now they were ready to share God's love and mercy with the people living at the homeless shelter downtown. Today they would visit the shelter where people lived when they don't have a home of their own. The students can hardly wait, except for Juan. Why do we have to tell the shelter people about God's love? He asked Mrs. Murray. Juan looked at his teacher with worried eyes. He thought the people at the shelter might be germy or sad or scary or even mean. He wasn't sure that God really did love these people if they didn't have a place to live. I want to tell you something about my childhood, Mrs. Murray said to the children. A long time ago, when I was in kindergarten, my dad got very sick. One thing led to another, and my family had to live for 7 months in the same shelter we're going to visit today. I was very sad about going there, but I learned that God's love and mercy were for me too. Before we got our own apartment, my parents, my 2 sisters, and I all learned the love of Jesus. That's why I want to visit the shelter today. I want our class to tell the people living at the shelter that God really loves them and sees them and wants them to be his children. Mrs. Murray smiled at Juan and asked, "Are you ready to help me?" All the kindergartners cheered, including Juan. Now he understood that God's love and mercy is for everyone. All right, so Juan was a little nervous about going to the homeless shelter. He's like, why do we need to tell these people about God? They might be scary. And then his teacher told him, guess what? I used to live at this shelter, and God's love is for everyone, okay? So what were the kindergartners sharing at the shelter? What were they going to share at the shelter? They were going to share socks. They were going to give their, the socks that they collected, some cookies, some yummy cookies. And then they were also going to share Bible verses and Bible songs that they learned. Why was Juan worried? He thought that the people there might be scary or mean or germy. Why did Mrs. Murray want to share God's love with the people at the shelter? Because she lived there and she knew that they needed to know all about God's love, just like she needed to learn all about God's love back in the day. Why do you think Juan changed his mind about visiting the shelter? Why do you think at the end he cheered and was excited to go? Yeah, because his teacher, Mrs. Murray, told him that she used to live there and that everybody needs God's love. So they were all excited about going there and sharing the love of God. All right. And there's so many ways that you can share God's love, whether it's just helping your mom or dad around the house, obeying them right away. If someone's sick, you can make them a card or call them on the phone. There's many different simple ways that we can show God's love. All right. And we can show love to our friends too by just being nice to them, including them when we play instead of leaving them out. All right. So I hope you can think of some good, fun ways that you can show God's love this week and this weekend. I love you all, friends. Have a good weekend. Bye.